Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Becoming the Product. My name is Naya, and I'll be your host today. And this will be another Learning the Basics episode. The first one I did was what product management was and what product managers do. So today will be centered around one of the major things that product managers do at the beginning of their process, which is research. Now, every product starts with a problem. There has to be something you're trying to solve before you build a product. And with research, we're trying to understand what this problem is, why we're actually classifying it as a problem, and who it affects. So there are two major types of this research. There's the market research and there's the customer research. When you conduct market research, you're gathering information about a specific target market. Now, this is important because you're trying to identify trends in the market. You're trying to identify opportunities and also challenges. You're also trying to know who the players are. Who are the competitors? Who are the other people in this market that are trying to solve the same problem that you've identified? And when you understand the market, you're able to make a more informed decision about how to build your product, how to structure it. Now, the second type, which is the customer research, is a little bit more in depth. You're trying to understand who it is you're building this product for. Now, this is important because it gives you an insight to who this customer is, who this user is. It also gives maybe like a guide to how to structure your product development process. It improves your customer experiences because when you do a lot more in-depth research into who your customers are, it makes it easier for you to plan their experiences a little bit better, to tailor it to them specifically. It also makes your marketing strategies very effective. Same thinking to the previous one. When you get your customer research, you're able to do effective marketing by going towards what the customer wants. If the customer is a social media person, very techy, you target social media platforms. If it's someone who is a little bit more old-fashioned, prefers newspapers, prefers watching TV or radio, you do more offline methods. You go with the print media or you go with news media. So you just need to keep in mind that the goal of research is to understand your user needs, to understand what the problem is, and you prioritize them. You're trying to build a product that is very relevant and that will remain relevant. So there are two major ways of collecting or conducting market research. We have the primary way and the secondary way. Now, when you say primary, this is basically data that is gathered by yourself, as in the company you work for. So there are two types, the quantitative and the qualitative. In the quantitative method, you're trying to collect data that is measurable. So you're using surveys, you're using polls. It's easier to structure questions there, yes or no, multiple choice questions. You're kind of directing the customer to select certain things. You also use it to gather demographics like age, occupation, and all of that. Now, when you go to qualitative, it's more exploratory. You're trying to get the customer to be a little bit more open in their description. You're also trying to observe. In these cases, examples could include interviews where you interview and you ask questions that are open-ended. It gives the customer leeway to be more explanatory, be more open to discussing. Another way of doing qualitative is focus groups. You put people in a group and you give them something to do and you just watch them. You don't participate whatsoever. All these ways are ways you can collect primary data, primary research. You're doing it yourself. Now, the secondary research, you're focusing more on external sources of data. It could be market report. You could get information from industry data, from trend statistics, and also sales reports of your competitors so that at least you know how they're doing it. So when you get all this information, you've gotten all these insights, you're trying to, initially I said you're trying to understand what the problem is, who it is you are building it for, why it's identified as a problem. With all this information, you are able to answer all those questions. You're able to build a user persona. A user persona is like an ideal person that you want to build your product for. You have gotten the needs, you've gotten their wants, you also understand their motivations, you understand their frustrations, and you know their demographics. You're able to craft that, okay, this is an ideal person that I want to build this product for. You know the age, the career, everything about that person, because you already have insights as to who these particular people are and how they function in your product development cycle. You can also use all this information to understand your competitive analysis, who the players are, who are the other people in the same market that are solving these problems that I've identified. What are they solving? Like, what strengths do they have? What weaknesses? What opportunities? What challenges have they also identified that you are also trying to identify? How are they solving this problem? What tech are they using? And why are they solving it? Like, what is their vision? What is their mission? All these informations are gotten from the insights you gather when you do your market research and your customer research properly. So I hope I've been able to at least give an understanding as to why customer research is important, because as product managers, you have to be able to talk to your customers. You have to be able to conduct research properly. In some companies, they actually outsource this to other people to do. But even if it's outsourced, you need to be in the know. You need to know what they're doing. You need to at least handle, if you don't even handle the market aspect, you handle the customer research so that you understand the customers better. So thank you so much for listening. I hope I have been able to give like clarity to what research is in the product management world. I really enjoy it when I am able to communicate with people who are actually in the same boat as I am. So you can drop a comment or send a DM, and thank you so much for listening. I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good week.